Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Our whole goal here is to take complicated stuff and make it make sense. And today we're diving into something really intense, the last action-packed days of Jesus' public ministry, right before the Passover.
So, let's get into it. The best way to think about this is like a countdown, almost like a ticking clock, right? We're starting just 6 days before the Passover festival in Jerusalem. And as you can see here, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, each day the tension just ramps up. The stakes get higher and higher, and you can feel it all building towards, well, an inevitable climax.
All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off on a Saturday in Bethany. Now, Bethany is this pretty quiet little town just a stone's throw from Jerusalem. But don't let that fool you. Beneath the surface, things are absolutely electric.
Okay, so there's this dinner happening, but it's not just any dinner. It is the event. This is where Mary anoints Jesus, which is this incredibly powerful act of reverence. But you know the buzz in the air? It's not just about Jesus. It's also about Lazarus. Remember him? The guy Jesus had just raised from the dead? Yeah. That miracle basically made them both instant celebrities and also major targets. It's the perfect setup for what's about to happen when he goes into the city.
So now we're at Sunday. The tension just keeps climbing. As Jesus gets closer to Jerusalem, the word is out. It's spreading like wildfire. Lazarus is alive. And huge, absolutely ecstatic crowds start pouring out of the city to meet him.
And here's where things get really fascinating. There's this massive disconnect, right? You've got the crowd going absolutely wild, hailing him as a conquering king. They're thinking, this is it. This is the guy who's going to kick out the Romans. Their entire excitement is built on this idea of a political, military victory.
And this quote from Luke, wow, it just perfectly captures the conflict. While the whole city's throwing a parade, what's Jesus doing? He's weeping. He's not celebrating at all. He's actually mourning for the city because he knows they're completely missing the point, and he foresees its destruction because of it.
So you'd think after a day like that, with all that energy and adoration, he'd stay in the capital, right? You know, ride that wave of popularity. But no, he pulls back, heads back to Bethany for the night. It's like he's letting all that drama just hang in the air and simmer. Okay, it's Monday morning, Jesus heads back into the city, and the whole vibe has changed. The party's over. Now it's time for a direct, and I mean provocative, confrontation.
He does two things that are just impossible to ignore. First, he curses a fig tree because it doesn't have any fruit. It's like a living symbol of judgment. And then he walks straight into the temple courtyard and starts physically flipping tables and driving out all the money changers and merchants. It's chaos.
And look, this is the crucial part. He's not just making a point about business being done in a holy place. He is publicly, loudly accusing the entire religious establishment of corruption. He calls it a den of robbers. I mean, can you imagine? By doing this, right there in their headquarters, he's basically declared open war on the whole system. There is absolutely no going back now.
And just like Sunday, what does he do at the end of the day? He leaves. He withdraws back to Bethany. You see this pattern emerging, right? He makes a huge, forceful move and then steps back to let the shockwaves spread. At this point, the tension in Jerusalem is just through the roof.
Now we get to Tuesday, and folks, this is the longest, most intense day of the whole week. It starts with this really stark image. That fig tree he cursed on Monday, it's completely withered overnight. It's a powerful omen for a day that's going to be one long battle of wits, a final public showdown over who really has authority.
So he gets back to the temple, and it's basically an ambush. All his enemies are waiting. You've got these different factions who normally can't stand each other suddenly working together. You've got the Pharisees, these super strict religious guys, teamed up with the Herodians, who are pro-Rome. And then you have the Sadducees, the rich, powerful priests. They've all formed this temporary, uneasy alliance for one single purpose, to trap Jesus in his own words and take him down.
First up, the Pharisees and Herodians hit him with a total political landmine of a question. Should we pay taxes to Caesar? See the trap? If he says yes, he's a traitor to his own people. If he says no, he's an enemy of Rome. It's the definition of a lose-lose situation.
All right, next up, the Sadducees. Now, these guys didn't even believe in the resurrection, so they come at him with this super complicated, almost silly riddle about a woman who marries 7 brothers. They're trying to make the whole idea of a life after death sound completely absurd.
So this table really lays it all out, doesn't it? It's like a rapid-fire interrogation. The priest challenges authority, the Pharisees challenges politics, the Sadducees challenges beliefs. It's a total gauntlet. And he just navigates every single trap. Then, when they're out of ammo, he flips it on them. He asks them one single question about the Messiah that they just can't answer, and boom, silence. Game over.
And with that silence, the whole power dynamic in the room just flips. His opponents are speechless. So now Jesus goes on the offensive. He turns to the crowds and delivers this absolutely scathing final public takedown of the religious leaders.
These are what we call the 7 woes. And we're not talking about simple insults here. Think of them as formal public denunciations. He is just systematically exposing their hypocrisy, one point after another, and telling the people, do not be like them. This is it. This is the final public severing of ties with the leadership.
So, as that long, intense Tuesday finally comes to a close, Jesus walks out of the temple, and he never goes back. His public ministry is officially over. From here on out, it's all about preparing his inner circle for what's about to happen.
Imagine this scene. He's sitting with his disciples on the Mount of Olives, looking out over the city that just spent the whole day trying to destroy him. And there, he gives them some of his most famous prophecies. He tells them these stories, these parables, about being ready, about judgment to come, and then he just lays it out for them, plain and simple. In 2 days, at Passover, I'm going to be crucified.
But while Jesus is preparing his disciples for his death, his enemies are busy making sure it happens. At that very moment, across town, in the palace of the high priest, a secret meeting is going down.
And who's there? The same chief priests and elders he just publicly humiliated. They're all huddled together trying to figure out how to arrest him quietly and kill him. The only thing they're worried about is the crowds. They know if they do it during the festival, there'll be a riot. So, the countdown is on and the plot is in motion.
Which brings us to this final, chilling thought. As Jesus walked away from the temple for the last time that Tuesday, he made this absolutely stunning prediction about the building itself. What happened this week? You see, it wasn't just about one man's fate. It was tied directly to the fate of the entire city and its most sacred place. That confrontation that started with him flipping tables in the temple, well, he predicts it will end with the whole thing being torn down, not one stone left on another.